Good evening and welcome to MARK920 News. If you yourself are a parent, ask yourself how much your child really knows about healthy eating, and now ask yourself how much you actually know. It can be easy to assume that we know what is best when feeding ourselves and our children. However, contradictory to this belief, obesity and other associated illnesses are on an upward trajectory for both adults and children in Australia. According to a study conducted last year by the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, only 33% of young people eat their recommended daily intake of fruits and vegetables. Food literacy is a major issue. These young generations are unable to plan, manage, select, and maintain a healthy diet. Many interventions have come into place, such as a health star rating label on all supermarket foods. However, one government department has created a new initiative to get both parents and their children excited. The New South Wales Food Authority's new campaign will be launching early next year, just in time for the back-to-school frenzy. If you love the Woolworths Discovery Garden and Coles' Little Shop, you'll be sure to love this. The Follow the Fruit campaign will feature a new collection of collectibles for you and your children, which will include an assortment of small toys for the children and a healthy, low-cost recipe for the parents to try. These will be available at all Woolworths stores across New South Wales. Accompanying this is a new food labelling system wherein a colourful sticker will be placed on all foods in the grocery store that are typically eaten by school-aged children and have been tested and approved of by licensed nutritionists to make your shopping easier. There are a few macro-environmental factors that need to be taken into consideration when implementing such an initiative. On the political side of things, the initiative can be impacted by issues caused by the pandemic in other countries. 2018 alone, Australia imported about $9 billion worth of food, with China dominating the importation of frozen and processed goods. As of late, areas of China have been going into lockdown due to increased COVID-19 numbers. Such issues can greatly affect Australian supermarkets. Alongside this, the initiative must align with all current and future tax policies and must comply with the legalities of any grants and/or funding. Economically speaking, inflation is on the rise, making groceries more expensive. The initiative does not make you spend any more money than necessary, as it focuses on educating the customer in order to make healthier choices, but the increased prices can be a barrier to behavior change. Customers also don't need to spend a certain amount to receive a collectible, as with every purchase of a labeled product comes a prize, unlike similar programs before this. Socially, consumer attitudes are positive when it comes to this type of initiative, with the Coles Little Shop campaign resulting in a 5.1 increase in sales for the Aussie supermarket. Communities formed to trade collectibles, and so did relationships. In terms of social barriers, lack of information surrounding the issue is a major inhibitor to behavior change. Campaigns focused on food literacy and educating both parents and children about what is healthy and what is not will close this gap. There are also ethical issues related to marketing to children, which are being considered by the department, wherein parents are able to make all decisions around purchases. In terms of technology, research into the program will be positively impacted by technological advancements in the field, and information about the initiative and the research being undertaken will be available online for people to access and read for themselves, which again addresses the information barrier. Legally, health and safety rules must be abided by, and all research will be reliable so customers are not being tricked into buying the labelled products. And finally, the environmental side will also be considered by taking active steps to recycle and reuse waste. All packaging will be recyclable, as will the recipe itself. The sticker will be made from paper, and the toy will be created from recycled plastics that are collected from the Red Cycle program. The main objective of this initiative is to educate and raise awareness amongst school-aged children and the parents surrounding food literacy within a 3-month timeframe. This goal is specific in that it focuses on food that parents would typically buy for their children. It will also be measured by the sales of specifically labelled products in Woolworths stores, and achievable in that these products and the associated information will be highly accessible to shoppers. The initiative is realistic as it does not require drastic behaviour change and time-bound in the 3 months, but can be extended depending on results following an evaluation. We have Heather here on the line, who is a mother to 3 and canteen manager at her local primary school, who will be answering some questions. So Heather, how do you feel about the current food literacy choices you've been witnessing in the canteen at your child's school?
As a mother, it really hurts me seeing the children making unhealthy food choices for themselves. These children choose the most cost-effective options, which unfortunately are the unhealthiest foods. Many of the products in the canteen are the type of food that you'd class as junk food, because it's more economical to stock these in larger quantities. However, I really think we need to change the availability of this food in the canteen and educate children in how to make great food choices.
Who do you think the government should be targeting? Should the schools be taking responsibility, or do you feel it should be the parents and families?
I think there's valid argument in educating both the parents and the children. I know in my household, I worry about whether my children will be eating at all and not the types of food that they'll be eating. My child's taste preferences take precedence over whether the food they're eating is going to be healthy or not. However, for the future, I want my children to be able to have the knowledge to plan, prepare, and eat healthy food. The government should target families with children for this initiative. The children should ideally be over the age of 8, as children begin to retain information at a higher rate at this age. And geographically, families across the country can utilize this education. Statistically, however, many of the lower socioeconomic families and areas in Australia do not have basic food literacy education, should be informed of these choices, and this demographic should be targeted.
What are some barriers to food literacy at the present time amongst families with primary school age children?
There are currently many barriers to healthy eating which impact families with primary school age children, including the lack of skills and time, and also the cost. For some parents, the thought of cooking every single meal from scratch and having the time to plan and prepare it can be daunting. I know from experience it can just seem so much easier to pop through the drive-through on the way home. But when thinking about the nutritional value of the food that we're consuming and the unhealthy options that are doing more damage than good to our bodies, but also the minds of our children of what constitutes dinner for them, utilizing simple, nutritious recipes and basic time management is a way to overcome these barriers and be able to prepare healthy meals for dinner.
What do you think would motivate children and parents to become more engaged in learning about food literacy?
I think really getting to know what the children want to eat, for example, asking what their favorite meal is and putting a healthy spin on it, is a really good way to try something new. And it's a way to please both parents and children in a cooking setting. By engaging the children's opinions in the planning stage of food preparation, parents will be able to find alternatives to current dinner routines and be able to implement healthier food alternatives. For example, the upcoming Follow the Fruit campaign that I've seen online that's coming to Woolworths, I know I'll be asking my kids which recipes we want to cook together.
Thank you for that, Heather. We will now be welcoming Dr. Joanna, who is a dietitian, to answer some questions about the theoretical side of the campaign. So tell us more about the research behind how this new initiative is being implemented.
Hi Alex, well first of all I'd like to just clarify, when we talk about food literacy it actually involves 5 key skills which include the ability to number 1, appropriately source food, number 2, understand the nutritional benefits or drawbacks of various food, number 3, be adaptable to the foods available, number 4, prepare and store food hygienically, and number 5, be able to maintain these skills throughout one's life's ups and downs. And so with this new initiative, the New South Wales Government seeks to address a lack of food literacy in primary school age children by educating parents and children on the importance of appropriate food sources, nutritional benefits of food, food availability, food hygiene and lifelong skills in maintaining food literacy. The way in which the government is choosing to implement this new initiative is based on research by Catherine White, Rashad Habib and David J. Hardesty from the American Marketing Association, in particular the recent literature review titled How to Shift Consumer Behaviors to be More Sustainable. This uses the framework and acronym SHIFT. This framework leverages the psychological factors in consumer behavior, which are social influence, habit formation, individual self, feelings and cognition, and tangibility.
What can parents do to support this new campaign in increasing food literacy in New South Wales?
Good question, Alex. So going back to that SHIFT acronym I had mentioned earlier, first let's look at social influence. So in terms of social influence in guiding parents' behaviour, we assume parents want to be perceived as wanting what's best for their children, and this campaign gives them simple tools that they're able to use to educate their children on food literacy whilst out grocery shopping as well as at home. However, it is also easy for parents to select foods based on their children's preferences, and often parents will place items into their baskets and trolleys because they are appealing in terms of packaging or because they're receiving pressure from their children to buy unhealthy snack foods. But this new government initiative, Alex, it seeks to change all that. By partnering with Woolworths, the New South Wales government is creating a treasure hunt in store where children will be encouraged to find stickered items in return for a free toy and simple yet healthy meal recipes, along with some further food literacy fact sheets to help parents to educate their children on all aspects of food literacy, whether it be food, purchasing, preparation, consumption, hygiene, or storage of food, which is not something that is extensively discussed at schools at this present time. Furthermore, Alex, I should mention that we're aiming to make it easier for parents and children to identify types of food they should be consuming, so that not only are we bringing awareness to food literacy, but also we're helping to form new habits, which is part of that shift framework that I mentioned. So parents and children alike, they're saving time, we're taking the guesswork out of healthy food consumption for them, and we're also making it a fun and enjoyable experience for the whole family. So we're educating families with our fact sheets, as well as providing easy to make recipes which may prompt families to discuss food literacy more in depth with their children at home after the grocery shopping is complete, so that their awareness and healthy habit formation around food literacy occurs from a young age. I should point out that feedback regarding the campaign is welcome, and we are setting up moderated social media platforms where families can further engage and share their experiences in educating and implementing food literacy practices within their home. As well, the social media sites will offer a space to swap the free collectible toys and recipes which are handed to children and parents as a reward at the checkout for finding those ticket items and bringing them to the checkout for purchase. Furthermore, in terms of individual self, again looking at that shift framework, in changing behavioural outcomes in this campaign, we are also hoping to increase parents' confidence and self-efficacy in being able to educate their children on food literacy at home by giving them simple and easy recipes and food literacy practices to implement, as well as giving them the chance to witness how this is bringing about change in other families' lives by sharing or reading about their experiences online. And also regarding feelings and cognition, another part of the shift framework, being a very child-centered campaign, and by using cute fruit stickers, figurines, and brightly coloured recipe booklets and food literacy facts, we're really aiming to bring about those positive and tender feelings we have towards making our children happy and providing them with material they will enjoy and hopefully feel excited about when going to the grocery store with their parents. And all our fact sheets and recipes are also extremely child friendly and easy to follow to really help entice parents and children to try out new recipes and encourage children to get their hands dirty in the kitchen with their parents. As well, we're hoping to make the whole learning experience as engaging as possible and helping to bring about a new enthusiasm around all areas of food literacy. Thanks, Alex.
That's very interesting. And what are the long-term goals or hopes in the future in terms of increasing food literacy amongst primary school age children in New South Wales?
Well, Alex, referring once again to the Shift article, we want to make sure this campaign is tangible. So we're hoping to be able to roll out this campaign nationwide, and we're really encouraging parents to take their children with them on their next visit to the grocery store and go on that treasure hunt with them to find those healthy food items to place in their trolley. Together we can make a difference to our children's future health and well-being, and this can really be passed on down throughout the ages to really bring about a greater awareness of food literacy in this country. It's no secret that Australia is already a health conscious country, but we want to be a top contender when it comes to food literacy in particular amongst our youth. And moving forward, we all have the power to make this initiative happen, and if everyone gets on board, we can all make a radical change to how food literacy is perceived and understood in Australia. Thank you for having me, Alex.
Thank you, Doctor. We will now be moving on to our last guest. This is Jiki from the New South Wales Food Authority. He's here to explain the strategic side of the New South Wales government's Follow the Fruit campaign. So, Jiki, can you give us an overview for this new campaign of the New South Wales government?
Hi, Alex. So we are launching this new food literacy campaign by the NSW government called Follow the Fruit campaign to address the lack of food literacy program in primary age school as discussed a while ago by our colleague Dr. Joanna. And we want this program to be very visually attractive to children and parents alike to be able to get their attention and interest in participating in our new campaign. So this is going to be the new logo and materials in doing the campaign, and we are doing this in partnership with Woolworths.
Yes, trying to get both the parents and children excited in participating for this new campaign. And how will this campaign be different from other healthy eating campaigns?
Well, this campaign will be different from other food literacy programs in NSW, mainly because we are looking to integrate our program to the daily lives of our consumers. Other food literacy programs focus on skills trainings and short courses, which may not be practical for school moms as they are juggling different tasks already in their day to day. So instead of adding another task in their busy schedules, we are looking to integrate this to their daily living by introducing simple tweaks that can be socially adaptable and budget friendly. That will surely make an impact in their families and children. And I might add as well that having food literacy programs increases the health consciousness in Australia by 6 to 7% according to the NEST program. So if we are able to implement based on those success rates, food literacy among children today and families in the future will improve drastic social changes within our society.
Good to hear that from the government's perspective. My next question is, why has the New South Wales government decided to partner with Woolworths on this occasion?
We have partnered with them for the simple reason that this is a new campaign that needs to be accessed by a lot of Aussies, and Woolworths has the largest grocery market share presently. And initially, we are doing this with them for awareness because apparently many social programs tend to fail because we failed to address these needs to specific population where people will have an access on it. But take note of the word initially because after successful implementation in Woolies, we will eventually expand our programs to Coles, Aldi, IGA, and others until we will be fully present in every grocery store in NSW and to the rest of Australia.
Yeah, hoping that this new campaign will be successful in its initial implementation and eventually expand to more partner stores nationwide. And lastly, how does the government plan to achieve its goals throughout the campaign, and how does your agency plan to monitor and evaluate the success or failure of this new campaign?
The government wants to first raise awareness on food literacy by 25% in NSW primary schools and roll out to 50 Woolworths stores initially by the start of next year, and another 150 stores by the end of next year, 2023. And the dry run for this program will be started during the back-to-school season activities in NSW. We will monitor and evaluate this program by using available social media platforms to promote and engage Aussies in participating in the Follow the Fruit campaign. And of course, we will rely on Woolworths data to decide if this will be truly worth it for Aussies.
Thank you, Jiki, representative from the New South Wales Food Authority government, for shedding light on this new upcoming food literacy campaign here in New South Wales. Thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. The Follow the Fruit campaign sounds like something we should all get behind. I'd like to also thank our resources team for their work on this one. I'm Alex Kosvides. Stay tuned for the next group's presentation, and we'll be right back for more after this short break.